Let's get into the video for simple gifts for quiz 9. Again, the sheet that you guys have is just rewritten so it'll fit on one single page, but it's the same length and the same music. I'm just using the book that it originally came out of. We're going to start in measure 9. So after the G's that you just played here, start in measure 9. Part 1 is going to have no new notes. It'll be the same notes you just played in quiz 8, and this is only in the range of D on the 4th string to D on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You do not use the 5th or 6th string, nor do you use the 1st string in this excerpt for the A part. For the B part, you are going to learn a new note. This is low B. It is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So the B part does use the 5th string, but its range is only from that low B to the B that is the open 2nd string. That is your range for the B part. I'm going to go through each of those ranges before we start actually playing these parts, okay? Alrighty, let's start with learning the range of the A part. So we're going to start on the open 4th string. This is our low D. And this is the note that sits right underneath the staff. So you have the line, and then here's the note D. That's the lowest note you play in this excerpt from measures 9 through 16, open D. In this excerpt, you do not play E or F sharp, so we're going to skip up to open G, which is the open 3rd string. Then we go to A, 2nd fret on that same string, 3rd string. Then open B, 2nd string. Then C, 1st fret. Then D on the 3rd fret. And those are the only notes being used here. D, G, A, B, C, and D. We're leaving out the other notes. Those are the only ones you need. Now let's look at the B part. What notes are used there? We're going to learn that new note B below the staff. So you have the staff, you have a ledger line, the little dash with a note, and this is right underneath that dash. So this is the note right underneath that extra line. This is going to be B natural, and so that is going to be 2nd fret on the 5th string. So the range here starts on that B. We also have some C's in there, so that'll be the 3rd fret of the same 5th string. Then we have E, 4th string, 2nd fret. Sorry, I skipped one. After C is D, and then open 4th string D, then E natural, 2nd fret. In this part, you will play an F sharp that you slide over to 4th fret on the 4th string 4, F sharp, then open 3rd string G, then we have A and B, 2nd string open. That's our range from low B to middle B. So low B, down here, 5th string, 2nd fret, then C, D, then E, F sharp, G, A, and B. Okay, with all those notes learned, let's look at the first part, the A part, and let's learn this new music. So we start with a half note. The melody changes a little bit here. It's just the next part of the melody. So we start with a half note on D, then go to the open B, then another B, then down to A, and then we do the same idea that we talked about in the last video of neighbor tones. So in the second measure of this, you're going to play a bunch of normal notes that are open strings on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the second measure. So the note on beat 1 is open B, on beat 2 after the te is open B, then we have open G, and and then another open G. We just make it a little more interesting by adding some notes in between them. So if we add the notes back in for that measure, and all of those notes make it sound more interesting. Starting at the beginning, those two measures together of this excerpt, starting measure 9. Then we get to measure 11, and while they're not all open, they are all chord notes. So notes in the G major chord. G, B, and D are our triad. Those are notes that you play together to make it sound really cool. So G, B, and D are all in that chord. They're do, mi, and so. So in measure 11, we have chord tones on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have open B, then another open B on beat 2. Then we have the note D on beat 3. And here I was mistaken. We actually go to C, but this is an instance where the more important note is landing on the te. So we go D, C, B, and that kind of builds into the scale going down from D. The next measure, measure 12, we start on A, go down to G, back to A, then to B, then another A, open 4-string D. And while they're not open notes, the important notes in this measure all line up with the D major chord, which is the little note above the measure. So if you played a D major chord, it would sound nice with that measure. A is the so of D major. Let's put those 4 measures together. And regroup at measure 13. You have another half note, this time open G, 3rd string. And then we kind of go up a scale and follow a similar pattern to what we did earlier. B, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, B, B, A, G, G. That whole entire excerpt for the A part is going to sound like this. 1, 2, ready, go. And you can mute it with your hand. Okay, let's look at the B part. It starts on open B, then goes down to open G, then G to open D. So all of the notes in measure 9 are open strings. And then the same idea from earlier of important notes being on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have G, 3rd string open, another G. Then we have that B that we learned on the 5th string 2nd fret. That is the mi in G major. So this note. So when you play those 4 beats, G, G, D, B, D, those are just outlining the major chord. And then we add in some notes to make it a little bit more interesting, a little more spicy. Starting on open G, we add an A. G, A, G, D, B, D. Then we go on. We go G, G, A, B, A, G. Then we play 4 open Ds in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going down a scale, starting on G. G, F sharp, E natural, D. So we're doing a descending scale, and it's just bum, 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 bum. Then we get to measure 14. Start on an open G, 3rd string. A, B, A, G. 4 more Ds in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can set your fingers back in C major like you did set your fingers in C major. So 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 4th string, and then leave the other fingers off. And you can just play the last measure without moving your hand. C, E, G. You just have to keep your fingers curved enough to get those notes out. Okay, let's do the whole excerpt of the B part. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the excerpt for Quiz 9 of Simple Gifts.